Hey, Sirst. Congrats on first. Uh, you're here. First 4 times. What's the time for you? I'll just balance my volumes. Okay. Alright, Australia. I'm going to AvCon in Adelaide soon, and then to SmashCon in Sydney. So if you're in either of those places, I'll be catching up with as many streamers as I can catch. I did Gold Coast and Melbourne in April. Brizzy. I did pop into Brizzy to see... she's live right now. Sinkin. And Clamshell. I did actually buy dice for my flatmate Iron Ads. A D12 with black tentacles around the 1, and then a cat D6 with a cute kitty instead of a 6. I think. Yeah, the 6 was replaced with it. Let's wait for ads to finish. Before I start reading. And how long has it been since the Soest stream? The schedule shows streams. 3 streams a week? But how long has it actually been? Right. So yeah, I know several streamers who've had to stop or pause for health. Sinkerton is fibromyalgia and low energy. Then Kiko in Melbourne. Do you know Yukiko? Kiko's low blood pressure, so faints easily. Yes, rather that to stream because they can do nothing else, really. Migraines. Right. Huh. Is it still just a migraine if it lasts that long? That will, I hope you find relief eventually. Okay, I'll get to reading. Journal entry number 3. Journal entry number 3. Although I don't have any additional thing to report in regards to the marked individuals or different magics, I learned a lot about Littlebark in my research and wanted to have it written down so that I can reference it when I go there. Plus, I have some thoughts about the whole Twin Mountain District is unlivable thing. That can't be true, right? And that structure, Tyler is the best ever. Little Bark was just a small town before the plague hit the town. And even though it's considered a plague, nobody knows if it was an actual sickness, or if the water was poisoned, or something there. If it was poison, then how would the leaf marks survive, especially since Felix stated they were a child at the time? Ah. I don't know. There wasn't Tyler in what I was reading. Must have been something else. And welcome in. Leaf is never documented anywhere. There's no article or website notes a survivor to the plague, which leads me to believe one of two things. One, Leaf has some sort of magic that safeguarded them from whatever killed the village, or Leaf poisoned the village themselves, whether by accident or intentionally. Oopsie. How are you going, Tyler? I don't like how either of those options sound, but I have to consider the oddities that this particular scenario holds. Also, a Coatimundi. I had to look up what that is, as Coatis aren't native to Harmania. Apparently, the Coatimundi race originates in the neighbouring continent of Arkan, which I won't go deep diving into for the sake of not murdering my brain cells with so much new knowledge that won't help in this scenario. I asked Cedric to pry and ask Gaz what he knew about Littlebark, and he basically confirmed everything I heard online. Nobody knows why the whole town dropped dead, there are no survivors, and Littlebark is abandoned. That either means Felix is lying, or Leaf is intentionally keeping hidden, which will definitely be an issue. That's all my thoughts on Littlebark and Leaf for now. As for the structure, I tried researching, and the tower is called Hero's Tower, though I can't find anything that explains the name or what its purpose is. Maybe it's just some ancient structure. I can't seem to find concrete info, no matter how much I try to dig through articles there, which is really weird. Oh, cool. I just keep finding conspiracy articles about the Guardians aren't dead, and does the tower supply magic to the world? And also, these articles also come from other continents. So I guess each continent has a tower. They all have different names, so there isn't a concrete term for all of them other than towers, which is also a bit strange. Okay. I should probably get to bed or drive myself nuts trying to theorize. I want to discover the truth about the Twin Mountain District and the tower someday. There's... Don't know who that is yet, but this is, I think, Sonkalik, aka Con, in the Dreamscape, presumably. Let's pop back to the intro. So Moontrail Lake. Uh, it's the story about a world that keeps ending in apocalypse and being recreated, and the guardians, some guardian beings, have marked 14 heroes, and if all the heroes can unite, they might be able to stop the apocalypse and continue the current cycle. I should have noted the page number, so we've learned about magic. Con was on a journey, tracking down the other marked individuals. Moontrail Lake. Instead of going directly to Little Buck, Con decided that the best course of action would be to start with Moontrail, the lake town right by Moontrail Lake. The trains had a stop directly in Moontrail, so not only was it an easier choice to make, but it gave Con the opportunity to learn more about Little Buck's tragedy from the locals. The good thing about being a journalist was that Con had every good excuse under the sun to ask about Little Buck, and many locals were more than happy to discuss the tragedy to a youth willing to listen. As Con sat in a restaurant talking to Cedric on the phone, he found himself staring out at the glow of the moon on the lake. It was a beautiful sight to see, watching the gentle glisten of moonlight on the water from the sweet-smelling restaurant. How are you going to find Leaf without even knowing their gender or species there? I'm not really sure, actually. And did you tell Kai you're gay? I think he needs to know, don't you? You're staying with them, right? Yeah, they're letting me stay with them, but the house is gigantic. If they were worried, they wouldn't let me around at their sister. Oh, fair enough. Did you manage to talk to your dad today? I did, yeah. Sirius got badly injured today, so Solix called me to let me know that Dad would be staying in the medical bay for a while. Oh, yikes. Sirius isn't exactly reckless. I don't know how he got hurt, but I hope he's okay. What did Gaz say? Oh, Gaz? He left to go to the army base again. So guess who's home again? Home alone again? That's fine, though. And hey, I'm keeping an eye out for Carbon, too. Oh, yeah. I guess you haven't had the pleasure of bumping into her, though, huh? No, that'd be cool, though. Yeah, lovely to see you. Hope your morning is good. As Con spoke, he couldn't help but notice a faint silhouette against the water. Con squinted, trying to get a better idea of who the person was or what they were doing. To Con's horror, he realized that the person looked like they were preparing to drown themselves in the lake. Thankfully, Con had already paid for his food and drink, hurrying out the door towards the lake to hopefully stop the individual from doing something stupid. Hey, you okay? Sid asked. I'll call you back, okay? Something came up. As Con hurried to the lakeshore, he tried to find the place where he saw the person. As he panted and looked around for any sight of them, he pressed the button on his wristband to summon Roban's scanner, attempting to pinpoint anything at all. In a mixture of dread and dismay, Sunkalek saw nothing. Did they really jump in? Or did Con imagine the whole ordeal? Hey, I'm back. You good, buddy? You sound like you're out of breath. I think someone may have jumped into the lake to end their life, but I don't see them anywhere. That was so weird. I really hope I imagined it. Maybe they're okay. Con spoke through the phone. Hey there, kid. Sunkalek flinched in alarm at the grisly voice. An older gentleman with a scruffy beard lay down on a bench, staring at Con intently. Con nervously stepped back a few paces to put distance between himself and the dirty old man before the man spoke again. You know, Moontrail is known for having ghosts around these parts. You expect me to believe that? Con replied nervously. Makes for a good story, doesn't it? Still, though, nobody's more a believer than that weird raccoon-looking kid. Raccoon? Do they have a leaf marking on their cheek? How the heck would I know? I've never met him. Just heard about them around town. Con excused himself awkwardly, turning his attention back to his phone. I need to go find a place to settle down for the night. I'll call you back later, okay, Sid? Be careful out there, buddy. Love ya. Bye-bye. When Con finally had the opportunity to talk to Kaya that night, he found himself contemplating the strange words of that old gentleman about ghosts. Who's to say ghosts don't exist? But also, even if they do, why would that man mention it so casually and so unprompted? As Con settled into bed, he found himself calling Kaya's cell phone to discuss his experience in Moonville and discuss his options with locating Leaf. Hey, it's me. Everything alright? You don't normally call so late. I had a bit of an odd experience today at the lakeshore. It looked like someone in the distance was trying to commit suicide by drowning, but when I went there, I saw no sign of anyone having been there. No corpse, no person flailing and calling for help, no rippling water to indicate anyone had fallen in. It was so weird. And this was odd because there was a guy nearby who casually said Moontrill is known for being haunted, which I don't believe for a second, but it makes me wonder if I should do my search for Leaf during the night time instead of during the day. Not tonight, but tomorrow night. It wouldn't hurt. Maybe Leaf is messing with the people in Moontrill. It's possible. I still want to go to Little Bark tomorrow. I'll just go later. I called you so I can get your help. I won't be able to just wander Little Bark in the dead of night without having someone to talk to and keep me focused, you know? Yeah, I do. I stay up late all the time. Just go to bed during the day tomorrow instead of sleeping tonight, and you'll be more energized tomorrow night. Yeah? That sounds fine. Want to stay on call for a bit to keep me from falling asleep? Yeah, I can, but wouldn't you rather call your boyfriend for that? Well, it's the middle of the week, so he has classes tomorrow. Oh, he's still in school? Yeah, I'm a year older than him and graduated early. He's 17 and I'm 18. I never asked, but how old are you? Early 20s? Yeah, 23, turning 24 in September. Guess that's why Cedric isn't joining you now? Yep, that's the only reason, really. Hey, also, why'd you fire up the scan-on robot earlier? Reflexive, I guess. I was trying to see if it would catch anything since I know I saw someone by the lakeshore. Did it show anything? Yeah, but I can't figure out what these readings mean. Some sort of magic? But it doesn't register as any kind of magic, not even an unidentified one. Makes me wonder if spirits or ghosts actually do exist and are impossible to see or interact with. Oh, really? Plus, I got to thinking, if spirits exist, are there people out there who can see them? If so, is it by some rare coincidence? Or is it a rare magic? Do you think Leaf may know anything about it? Hard to say. Guess we'll have to ask when we find them. You have your journal out? I wanted to discuss what I think about the marks of prophecy based on what Felix gave us. Luckily, I think I remember them all. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ah. 13 characters. Journal entry number 4. The 14 prophecy. The 14 prophecy marks that Felix mentioned are flower. Me, of course. It's in my left ear. Heart. The bounty hunter is Kai and I refer to him. Mark mirrors Kai's and on the right eye. Diamond. Kai. The mark is on the left eye, the one that wasn't blown out by a failed lab experiment. Teardrop. Cedric. It's on his neck on the left side. Lightning. Unsure, but it's probably Bakuda, since the Windsy is the tribe known for static magic and lightning. Fire. No leads. Leaf. The raccoon that we've been looking for, Leaf is the name for now. Feather. The kid Kiza, according to Felix. Skull. That strange scorpion-looking guy here. It was on the back of his head. And I remember, because I never saw the dude's face, so I always saw the back of his head. Only he could make that mark look cool. Hey, Joe. Lovely to see you. Pretty good. Just reading and hoping my voice doesn't give out. Number 10. Crown. As cliche as it sounds, I bet this one's King Lucius II. I wonder if all the crown-marked individuals were wildland royals. Star, moon, spiral, and infinity. No leads. It occurred to me that I haven't actually seen most of these marks. Leaf is the one I never dream matched to, and thinking on it, I guess the others I never matched to are the ones that we have no leads for. That said, either the others have their mark on a place that's covered by their clothes, or they purposely hide the mark. As for why they might hide it, I'm not sure. It's like a birthmark, right? So why would anyone hide that? Since I've got time to kill, I guess I can also write out my progress with locating all of us. I use a filled heart for recruited, and an empty one for we have a lead. Cedric, the teardrop. Graduates in about a month, then he can join me. Kai, diamond. They're helping from their home, but Roban is super useful for contact. Bounty hunter? No leads yet, but hopefully Leaf helps with this. Leaf. Felix said they may be around Little Bark or Moonfall. At this point, I haven't been to Little Bark, so maybe they will be found there. Munu. I haven't had a dream match with him for a while, but Felix said Munu requested to help us out. So guess Munu is helping from the sidelines. Carbon. Sid told me via text that according to his dad, Carbon is on leave and isn't rejoining the Forest Army anytime soon. Seems her dad wants her out of the war. That said, I'm not sure if Sid will encounter her at this point. Moon. Kai has been doing research on her, and so has Sid, but neither are coming up with anything that we didn't already know. Cade heard her. She left him and went to live with her mother and brothers in a small village. A raid occurs in the village, and the family is found dead, with no signs of Moon. She's not been seen since. Yakuda. I haven't a dream match with him lately, so I have no updates. Three-Eyed Wolf. So Kai has been researching this guy, and he's apparently still AWOL, as of a few days ago. Still wanted by wildland royal authorities. Other than bailing on the war, I don't think he's done anything to warrant arrest. Still, the thought of meeting this guy terrifies me. Kiza. Felix mentioned the name of the child, but not really other details other than the abusive family situation. That he was taking care of them. Why didn't he specify boy or girl? I don't get that, but it's probably not important. He said they were near the Twin Mountain River border in the wildlands, so that's the only lead we have. No updates on the rest. Can't research them or anything at this time. When nighttime came the following day, Con set out to Little Bark, just as discussed with Roban by his... When nighttime came the following day, Con set out to Little Bark, just as discussed, with Roban by his side acting as a potential shield, as well as a flashlight. The path to Little Bark was overgrown with weeds. But the signs of wildlife dissipated as Con got closer to the abandoned town. When he arrived, he was immediately unsettled by the heavy atmosphere surrounding the town. The buildings were still intact, but entirely abandoned, as though all the residents just disappeared without a trace. Still. Hey, Kai? Yeah, what's up? Did they ever excavate the bodies of the deceased in Little Bart? I'm not sure. Let me search online to see if it says anything. Hey, sorry. Forgot to say hello. Yep. Hope your morning is going well. Is it whose stream was it that I saw you in? Con glanced around as he walked the battered, weed-ridden pathways of the small town. There wasn't any sign of animals scavenging around here, so all the food and scraps should have been eaten away long ago. But to see no animals at all. The plague occurred decades ago, so Con wasn't expecting to find any rotten corpses. But this area is known for wild dogs and bears, so it wouldn't be unreasonable for corpses to have been pulled out of houses after the event, right? No, they left the bodies there since the area was deemed a hazard. Since nobody knew whether the residents died of poison, an airborne illness, or from food, the area was basically closed to the public. It's listed as proceed with caution now, so you aren't doing anything illegal by being there, but I'd still be cautious, Kai finally said. I just think it's weird that the town is so clean. It looks abandoned, sure, but nothing is destroyed, and I still don't see any signs of wildlife like mice or even bugs. Well, it's been 20 years. Maybe there isn't anything left there for them? A voice rang out from the trees, causing Con to flinch and search for the source of the voice. Up in a tree sat a slender individual with a long fluffy tail and impossibly large round ears. They sat unmoving as Kai activated Roban's scanner. And what exactly are you doing here? What is that thing by your side? The young man asked accusingly. Shouldn't I be asking you that? This is a robot that my friend is using to talk to me and scan for magic with. It's called Roban, Con answered. You still didn't answer my question. I'm less concerned about the machine than your intentions with the damn thing. Man, it's just a precaution. It won't damage the town if that's what you're concerned about. It just scans magic and can pop out a shield to protect me if I need it. The individual hops down from the tree, standing just a few feet in front of Con. Now that he has a better look at their face, they can see the leaf marking on their left cheek. Oh, your leaf. We've been looking for you. I've, vision. Yep, just reading a book. Yep, just gotta mod, do some shoutouts. Oh, nice. Hey. Yeah, I've pinned the link. I've been enjoying Saku's streams, drawing the art for this re-release I'm reading. Yeah, things are getting interesting. Oh, you're a Leaf. We've been looking for you. The individual backs up a few paces at that, eyeing Con and Roban suspiciously. Sorry, that sounds creepy, doesn't it? I'm a journalist, and have been wanting to look into some things, and a shapeshifter named Felix said you may be able to help. Felix sent you here? That's strange. My name's Con, and the friend talking through Roban is named Kai. What's yours? The Kai'ati stared back without answering. If you can figure out which of this town's graves is my own, then I'll tell you my name. It's not the one written on my tomb. But you aren't being serious, are you? You aren't dead, so why would you... Con replied nervously. Con trailed off wordlessly, allowing his gaze to sweep over the graveyard in the distance. It's small, but Con couldn't figure out if Leaf was being serious, or how he expected them to know which grave was his if his statement was serious. Before Con could come up with a response, another raid. Uh, Before Con could come up with a response, Kai's voice popped up from Roban. So, you died here too? There truly were no survivors? Because your biosignature indicates you are very much alive. There is a strange energy about you that even my scanner can't pinpoint, but you aren't a spirit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see you. Do you see them? All the people around us? Somkalik looked all around in shock, still unable to tell if the Kati was being serious. Ruban didn't move, just turned its head to the graveyard to scan it. There's nothing here, Kai stated quietly. Ruban carefully walked amidst the graves, stopping beside a headstone and turning away, as though they couldn't bring themselves to read the inscription. It's this one. This is the only one you didn't bury anything in. Dakota was still expressionless. I'm not sure why I can see them, but I died here just like them. So why am I still here? Con carefully approaches Leaf, gently taking his hand into his own as Leaf stares off at Roban. Con smiles patiently, giving Leaf the chance to speak. It's Sol now. I'm not sure why I'm still here, but I am. Don't you think these people would want you to continue living? I'm sure they don't want you stuck here in all your grief, Sol, Kai says kindly, allowing Roban to approach Sol. Give me time to think about it. I still have unfinished business here. We can talk tomorrow night. Sol gently pulls his hands free from Con's before walking over to his own tombstone. Con and Roban exchange a glance before Con agrees, telling Sol to meet him at the town entrance the following night for a chat. After a brief silence, Con and Roban leave Littlebark and proceed back to the hotel. What did the inscription say? Con eventually asked. It said, Chrysanthemum. Chris, your father named you after death because he was a horrible person. I'm sorry that I, as your guardian, could not save you from death. I'm so sorry. And it had the name of the writer, but it was scratched out, so I couldn't make it out. So his name used to be Chris, but because he believes he died, he's now Sol. Sounds like it, yeah. That bites. Guess we've got to find a way to explain the prophecy stuff gently, huh? Yeah, I'd be careful what you say about it. Still, he wasn't lying when he asked us if we could see the people around us. My scan didn't pull any biosignatures other than yours and Sol's. But he wasn't looking at either you or Roban at all. He seemed super grief-stricken and depressed. It makes sense. So, maybe there really is some sort of magic that makes it possible to communicate with spirits, or sense them at least? I was thinking the same. Let's meet with him tomorrow and figure things out then, okay? This is Sol Kotimundi, I believe. Art, or Artemis. Let's check if my car's back. To tell the guy I was gonna go see tonight that I'd just do it tomorrow. Okay, 2 marks. When Con arrives at Little Bark, the night is shrouded in mist. The light the robot produced was just barely enough to illuminate the path ahead, where Sol sat patiently against the now closed gates of Little Bark. Sol looked more relaxed than he did yesterday, and seemed much less tense when he saw Con, perking up as he approached. So, you want me to join you in whatever your goal is with this journalism stuff? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. The journalism thing makes a really good excuse, I guess. But I actually want to meet and recruit a certain group of people for a rather complicated issue. That's why I called you Leaf, because you have the leaf marking that I've been looking for. As Con and Kai explain what they know about the dreamscapes and the prophecy, Sol appears to contemplate his options, asking a variety of questions that Con and Kai don't really have the answers to right now. When asked about a bounty hunter, Sol gave a look of confusion, stating he wasn't sure what they were talking about. You're sure this dude is a bounty hunter? Was that a guess? Sol asked, not with suspicion, with a tinge of curiosity. No, we aren't sure, but it's the only lead we have right now, Con responded. So what does he look like? When I saw him in the dreamscape, he was wearing a large hooded shirt without sleeves. He's a bulky, sort of square-framed rabbit with long, round ears tipped with orange and red. His eyes were dark, expression unreadable. He sat hunched in front of me. Sounds sort of like Kiawe, I guess. Kiawe? Yeah, not a bounty hunter or anything, just a weird, isolated guy who seems to have a dark past. He's been searching for someone in Mistletoe, but last I saw him, he had no luck. How did you meet him? I thought you stayed here, Kai asked. I've always been here, yeah. He came through here and was asking me for help. He even helped me craft all the graves for Little Buck's residence, once he realized what I was doing there. So he came here and was just passing through, Con replied. Basically, yeah. He said I could find him in Mistletoe once I was done here in Little Buck. He said he'd find some sort of seedy bar or something, so I don't look suspicious when I meet with him. Said he'd find a place and frequent it every night until I joined him there. Who was he looking for? Kai asked, intrigued. He didn't say. He just asked if I knew anyone named Iridale. When I asked if he was looking for her, he said that she was gone. He didn't elaborate more than that, but I guess he thinks the person he's looking for would recognize the name, or people who know her may know who he's looking for. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but bear with me here. Right. So then, Kai, does any place come to mind with Sol's description? Maybe. I'm not going to go alone, though. So let's wait until you get back to Mistletoe, okay? So, if you're up for it, you're more than welcome to stay at my place, however long you need to recuperate. Sound like you've never had a place to call home, have you? No. I do go into town and do small things for money, and I use the gyms to take showers when I get too gross. But I never had my own place. Hmm. It's interesting. Did he use abandoned houses as a home, or just to sleep outside? The train ride back to Mistletoe was an awkward one, sitting next to an admittedly smelly new friend who had no social experience and no conversation skills. Eventually, Con decided it wouldn't be a bad idea to video call Cedric to introduce him to Sol and just get a conversation going. The train was rather empty, so they wouldn't be bothering anyone too much. Sol seemed reluctant, but upon learning of Cedric's willingness to video call, he agreed to it. Hey, what's up? You're Sol, yeah? I'm Sid. Nice to meet you. Sort of. We'll meet in person when I graduate and have no more classes. Hey, Sol replied awkwardly. Con stifled a laugh. So, finals week, huh? Yeah, next week, man. Not ready for it. Been studying a lot. Still home alone. Oh yeah, so are Gaz and your dad not going to your graduation? Graduation actually got sort of cancelled. Like, I still get to graduate, but not walk. Things have gotten sort of messy around here, and hosting a huge graduation like that seems risky. So they decided finals are virtual, and graduation is basically non-existent. We're going to get our stuff mailed to us later on. Oh geez, that bad, huh? I want to say just superstitious, but I can see why they decided that now. You probably haven't heard the news since you've been so busy, but Sirius and Solix were both found dead on the battlefield yesterday morning. What? Yeah, Dad's super stressed about it. He and Sirius have been best friends since forever. He was forced to take the role as Forest General in place of Sirius, which just makes him even more anxious. He's been radio silent ever since. Are you doing okay? Someone going live? Yeah, I'm okay now. That's why I was silent all day. Teachers gave me extensions for finals, but I'm not planning to use them. I'd rather get everything done as quickly as possible so I can join you guys. Hopefully we can recruit this Kiawa fellow by then. It'd be nice to get out of the mountain district and make our way to the woodlands to search for Moon. We've got no leads for Carbon, so we may have to wait until we hear something before we try to recruit her to our cause. Con looked up to where Sol was sitting. He had moved away from Con during his call with Sid and was chatting with someone else on the train. When Con glanced over at the person, he noticed it was the same curvy woman he met on the train previously. She had her blue hair tied up in a braid hanging over her shoulder, and was wearing an open-shoulder dress that showed her chest. Then he realizes why Sol started talking to her. The woman has a large star mark on her chest. Oh, you do? Yeah, my dad told me about the prophecy. He said to be cautious though, as there are people who want to hurt the ones who are marked with the prophecy markings for some reason. Wait, what? Con chimed in. Oh, yeah, guess you didn't know, huh? My dad is General Commander Urbik. I skipped a bit. The woman has a large star mark on her chest. So your friend over there? Yeah, he's the one who recruited me to this. It's sort of weird, but... Sol replied, No, I believe you. Oh, you do? Yeah, my dad told me about the prophecy. He said to be cautious there, as there are people who want to hurt the ones who are marked with the prophecy markings for some reason. Wait, what? Con chimed in. Yeah, guess you didn't know, huh? My dad is General Commander Urbik, in case you didn't know. He told me there are two organizations with opposing ambition relating to the prophecy. One side knows that the eclipse in the prophecy will cause the world irreparable damage in the magic imbalance and high level of toxins that would kill the populace. The other believes that the strongest will survive, and that this eclipse only eliminates the people who are perceived to be too weak to live anyways. I don't think they realize the gravity of the situation. But anyways, I haven't pursued it much. My dad told me to take an indefinite leave to hopefully find the other people who are marked, so I guess I got lucky this time. How come you didn't say anything when we last met, Carbon? Sunkalik asked, pointing to the inside of his ear where his mark was located. Carbon smiles before continuing. My dad is part of the first organization, named the White Magic Organization, or WMO. Basically, the goal is to assist the marked people from the sidelines and figure out who is trustworthy. Don't want to convey the wrong info to someone who's part of the Black Magic Organization, you know? Oh, I see, Cedric replies through the phone. Carbon chuckles at Cedric's untimely intrusion. You know, you may have met someone from the WMO without knowing it. They sort of don't reveal themselves to anyone. Oh, is that true? Why not? Sol asks. Better to let you choose to trust than to be told you should. Ah, I wonder if Felix is one of them. I don't know many of them by name except my dad. Well, and Gigi. I already knew about you from before that meeting on the train, Con. That's why I didn't try to mention the prophecy to you. Luckily, I could keep that ruse since I had a sweater on. Gigi? The man who adopted you. He goes by Gigi in the WMO, but I'm referring to Gaz. And before you ask, no, Meridew has never been involved. He doesn't know anything about the prophecy, as far as we know. Reason being, Gaz suspects Cedric's mother of being part of the BMO cause. Because a cool Kiwi VTuber who apparently knows I'm streaming. Mhm. Oh, I see, Cedric replies through the phone. Oh no, so Gaz suspects Cedric's mother of being part of the BMO cause. Gaz never adopted me, actually. And Estelle? She was arrested when she assaulted Meridew when Ced was like 8. Not like he would do anything to talk to her again. Yeah, he figures that too, but he wanted to play it safe just in case. What about Sirius and Solox? They were always close to Gaz and my dad, Cedric asks. No, I don't think so. Urbik mentioned that most of the others weren't from the Forest Kingdom. When you next go to the forest, don't mention the prophecy to anyone other than Gaz or Urbik, okay? They're the only ones who can certainly be trusted. Urbik suspects King Anamo is part of the BMO, which would explain why nobody on the Forest Kingdom has even heard of the prophecy. Shocker, right? Anamo is a weird guy, Cedric trails off. I've got business elsewhere, but I'll join you all some other time, okay? Take my number. That way you can keep me in the loop. What will you be doing? Searching for the others? No, you'll be doing that already. So there isn't a point for me to, right? Urbic has me on a mission to track down some missing WMO members, so I've been trying to figure out their whereabouts. I thought you didn't know all their names, Sol asked quizzically. I don't, but I know who the missing ones are. The ones who are accounted for, he hasn't told me their names. Anyway, this is my stop. See you boys again sometime. Alright, this is, Carbon. It's a cute design. Ooh. Let's... No, not Sol. Devastation. Sonkalik and Sol arrive at Cannon Manor to find Melodia and Kai in the living room, while Cameo, the Mountain District's army general, sat in front of them. Cameo eyes Sol and Con suspiciously when they enter the home without knocking, but Kai is quick to reassure him that they are guests staying at the house. Sonkalik motions for Sol to sit on the couch as they wait to hear what was going on. Sorry to have to give you news like that. Things haven't exactly been great lately, and with your parents being so ill. It isn't your fault, sir. Would you like tea or anything before you leave? Kai replied with surprising politeness. No, I need to get going. The war stops for nobody. Melodia, Skylar left this letter for you. Please read it on your own time. Thank you, sir, Kai sighs. When Cameo stands to leave, he looks over at Sol, giving an obvious look of disgust. Right. Sol was out digging graves in Littlebug and hadn't stopped to wash up with soap as far as Con knew. So Cameo probably thinks he's super out of place in a literal mansion like this. When Cameo finally leaves, Melodia excuses herself to the bedroom, clutching the letter that Cameo gave her. Why is this not in... Ah. Is everything okay? Con asked. As you probably guessed with the letter, Skylar has been officially declared dead due to how long he's been missing from the front lines. He was missing? Yes, but we all assumed he was okay. It seems Cameo found that letter and a sword, which he put over there. Pretty clear sign. He's probably not okay. That's what the army thinks, anyway. Did you say your fam was sick? Sol asked. Kai reflexively flinched when Sol moved to touch him. Yes, they are. That's why they've not been at the house the last few days. Not sure what's up with them just yet. Anyways, Sol, please do not touch me until you've bathed with soap. Cameo gave you that strange look because you smell horrendous. Yeah, whoops. That's what happens when you dig graves for decades-old skeletons. Con sighs. So, hold that thought. Kai activates Roban, who steps toward the hallway. Follow Roban. He'll show you the bathroom. I already set aside a towel and some fresh clothes for you. Just toss the filthy clothes you have on right now, please. Okie dokie, Sol says as he follows Roban down the corridor. Sorry, didn't think to make a stop along the way, Con says with a sigh. It's fine. Was there something you needed to say? Actually, yeah. We met Carbon on the train back up here, and she gave us some really important info. Turns out there's an organization called the Black Magic Organization that wants to get rid of us marked individuals. When she said that, it sort of got me thinking. What if that's what happened to Moon? We all know she went missing, but if Cade was part of the BMO. And what are Carbon's sources? General Urbic, her father, is part of the White Magic Organization, meant to counter the BMO and help us from the sidelines. From her description, it sounds like Felix may be one of those people. At least I hope so. It sounds a lot less coincidental that he'd helped Sol and now be helping Kiza when you consider that they're both marked. I see. So how come you didn't recruit Carbon? She's been helping her dad locate some WMO members who seem to have gone missing, so she can't join us right now. She did give me a number there and told us all this info about the WMO and the BMO. Sid was on call with me at the time, so he's up to date on it too. Ah. An evil organization? Sounds like trouble. I agree on the Moon thing. She could be in danger, and after we get Kawe, we need to make Moon our next target. I think so too. Sid will be joining us the week after next. They cancelled the grad walk, so he just has his finals and then is free to join us. Meridew got promoted to general, since Sirius was evidently killed on the battlefield. So Meridew and Gaz probably won't see Cedric off. Calvin did say that Gaz is part of the WMO too, which explains his protectiveness over me. Well, that's good. I'll join you in trying to meet up with Kawe, but I'm still working on something that we shouldn't go to the wildlands without me finishing. I won't tag along when you go to look for Moon, but we'll all go to the wildlands together when I'm finished. Sound like a plan? Well, aren't you quite the strategist? So what should we do when it comes to Bikuda? I don't know if it'll be a good idea to take a group into the jungle tribes. They might not trust us. So when we go to recruit Bikuda, what should the others do? We'll have to figure that out when you get there. It wouldn't be a bad idea to make sure Carbon joins us before we go that far west there. We still have to figure out how to cross the river too. Also, I doubt we can go straight through the south end of the jungle. What if we tried going up north? Like, through the woodlands? Do you want us to cross into the wildlands from there? Con replied. Not quite what I had in mind. What if we stayed on the northern end and went to the Twin Mountain district? Then we can try to find Felix and recruit Kiza. No, are you sure? I figured we'd wait to recruit Kiza until after we met the Three-Eyed Wolf, in case he's dangerous. I don't know how we travel through the wildlands and desert district with a little kid in tow either. Plus, we still haven't figured out where the scorpion-looking guy might be. Probably the desert. He crossed the river regardless. He was too far away to talk in the greenscape, so... Right. Alright, cool. So, Kiawe, then search for Moon. Then whenever we plan to go to the wildlands, ask Carbon to meet up with us somewhere, and we all go across the river together, right? That's what it sounds like. Alright, nice. So, should I have Sid meet us here, or should we go to the forest for him? Just have him come here. Travelling down to the war zone sounds like a bad idea. The town may not seem impacted to him, but I'm sure Forest Castle Town isn't accepting people in, especially when you're someone without an ID, like Sol. Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, I did. When he's cleaned up, I'll take a photo and print the fake ID we need to avoid suspicion, and then he'll be fine. For now, anyway. Oh. Thanks for the water, Joe. See how long the next chapter is. um, hmm. So we found Kiawa. One 18. I might try get back to. Yeah, it's a short section. Just waiting for ads to finish. Two more chapters. Dream of the missing. When Sir Cullick opens his eyes, he expects to be waking in one of the guest bedrooms in McGannon Manor, just as he had been for the last few weeks. This time, he wakes in a dreamscape for the first time in what felt like forever. Hey, Tersman. This time, he wakes in a dreamscape for the first time in what felt like forever. The air was cool and crisp. Con could see water all around through the mist. Con sits up, knowing he won't be able to move from where the dreamscape puts him, as he glances around for the dream's host. Moon, are you okay? You're registered as a missing person in the Woodland District right now. I'm okay now. Here, listen. Don't come after me right now, okay? I'll reach out again when I've found a place to lay low. I'm lucky I got away from him. Hey. Sean Arkisa. Things are getting exciting. So, Moon here, who we've just met in the dreamscape, her whole tribe, her whole family or whole tribe got massacred, and Con hadn't seen her in a dreamscape since then. But she's finally reappeared. So you escaped? Are you injured? Other than my pride? No, I'm okay. I have a bodyguard now, so I should be okay. So, where are you? I can't see you in the stream. Following where he heard her voice, Con squints, trying to find a silhouette in the mist. When he finally does so, he can see that she's got a hooded robe on, hiding all her features except a long, thick tail and her face. Unlike when he last saw her in the dreamscape, the front of her hair was neatly parted down the middle, shaping her face and going past the chin. The rest of her hair was neatly tucked over her shoulder, clean and brushed, unlike the matted, greasy mess it was before. Her eyes looked bright instead of dull, and her small round ears were perked up instead of being flattened downwards like they were before. She does look a lot better. Oh, I can see you now. You're looking a lot better now that you've gotten away from that guy. Hey, I managed to recruit Kai and Sol. Cedric was already on our side too, and Carbon will join us soon. Oh, hey, that's good. 5 marked people, all on the same page. That's great. Anyways, I brought you here to ask if you knew anything about the WMO. Have you heard of it? Yeah, Carbon told me a bit about it. Alright, that makes things simpler. My bodyguard is a peacock named Sheik. He's taking me to the desert to meet up with a Deathstalker scorpion named Kodia. Both are part of the WMO, and the Koda happens to be one of the siblings of the Skull individual. Sheik says his name is Coffee, and he has 4 siblings. Quintuplets, apparently. Oh, so is it going to be hard to get in contact with Coffee? Possibly, yeah. Koda doesn't know where he's gone. He fled from home because the other 3 Sibs are majorly abusive to Coffee. Koda left and joined the WMO to find Coffee and help him out, but he hasn't been located yet. Does Sheik actively have contact with other WMO members? Is there anyone I should look out for? Not that he mentioned. He did tell me that a large number of the WMO is in one place, but he told me he can't disclose where that place is just yet. There's at least one WMO member in the Whinsey tribe to help us out. There's someone in a place called Frigid Palace, I think. Not sure what that refers to there. Oh, which is a snake in the desert, but deserts are super sweet. That's cool. I'm curious how you came across here. Are you just looking at the writing and reading stuff? So yeah, I've found this small artist Sakura Mousy, and she was drawing the illustrations for this book. And after I've read through it and gotten familiar with the names and the phrasings, I'll try to record it like an audiobook. Frigid Palace, I think. Not sure what that refers to there. Oh, I see. Are you really going to be okay with just Sheik to protect you if Cade finds you? Yeah. Oh no, it's not just Sheik. The other guys aren't part of the WMO. They decided to help me voluntarily when Sheik explained the prophecy to them. Don't worry, these 3 guys won't need to protect me for too long. I'm finally figuring out how to better control my magic. Oh, what kind of magic is that? Listen, I need to get going. I have to wake up now. Don't be surprised or worried if you don't hear from me for a while. I'll see you when I see you, kid. Wait, are you still going by Moon? Oh yeah, guess I should have mentioned that too. The name is Claristol now. You won't catch me using the name Moon anymore. It's dead to me. See you then. We'll meet one day, Claristol. Stay safe out there. So this must be Claristol. I was worried that things had not gone well when they disappeared. I'll read one more chapter, I think, and then give my voice a rest. It is a chilly night here. Kiawe. Sonkalek wakes up in the morning still feeling tired. Having dream matches like this always makes his head feel fuzzy the next day. Rubbing the sleep from his eyes, he quickly sends a good morning text to Cedric and gets ready for the day. When he checks on Sol, he's still laying in bed, thankfully dressed and ready to go, just looking bored out of his mind. Con smiles passionately at him, then goes down to the kitchen to find Kai sitting at the kitchen table on their phone. He's gotten used to finding Kai down here in the mornings. It's definitely nice to wake up and have someone to talk to. Things felt lonely in Moontrail, even though he still called Cedric or Kai when he wasn't, and wasn't really alone that long. Hey, good morning, Con says. Yeah, hey, Kai remarks, not looking up from their phone. Con sits down at the table across from Kai, and then waits for Sol to sit with them before gathering his thoughts. He learned a lot from that dream, didn't he? Melodia is still in her room grieving, and I think she'll be up there all day. I made tea if you'd like some. Have you had tea before, Sol? Yeah, I have. It's pretty good. Not so used to hot drinks, though, that's for sure, Sol says as he stands and pours himself a cup of tea. He turns to Con expectantly, to which Con smiles in reply. Sol pours a second cup, then hands one to Con when he sits back down at the table. I dream matched with Moon last night. She goes by Claristol now, and she has a couple guys protecting her from that guy that was abusive to her. They headed for the desert district to lay low for a while. Yeah, that's neat. What's she like, anyways? Sol asks, still staring at his cup of tea. She looked very beat down when I last matched with her, but her energy seems different now. Her eyes are brighter, and she seems a lot more confident. I'm guessing this is her real personality. She was very to the point, which was reassuring. Did you learn anything from her? Kai asked, suddenly uninterested in their phone. She asked if I knew of the WMO, so I told her the gist of what we knew. Basically, her bodyguard is a WMO member. She said she has two other guys with her who are not part of the WMO, but are very trustworthy. She mentioned they are going to meet up with a scorpion named Coda, who is the sister of the Skalmak person Coffee. Ah, so Coffee is a scorpion, Kai replied. His eye lit up as he spoke. A Deathstalker scorpion, according to Claristol. He also has 3 abusive siblings, which might be an issue. Coda joined the WMO to help Coffee there, so they must be on our side. Also, she said a WMO member would help us in the Windsy tribe, and a group of WMO members were in some place called Frigid Palace, but her bodyguard didn't disclose the location to her. Frigid? Somewhere in the Twin Mountains then? Kai pressed. Maybe, but she seemed uncertain. She seemed certain of one thing, though. Coffee is going through some shit right now. She implied that Coffee fled from his abusive siblings, and stated that the WMO can't seem to locate him. Even Coda hasn't figured out where he's gone. Got to show the bald model. Frigid. Somewhere in the Twin Mountains then? The WMO can't seem to locate him. Even Coda hasn't figured out where he's gone. That's unfortunate. Guess we have to wait and see, huh? Will Claire reach out again? Sol asked, placing her now empty teacup on the table. She said it may be a bit, and not to worry if we don't hear from her for a while. It's a good start. Is that it? Kai probed. For the dream, yes, but about meeting Kiao. Don't tell me you got cold feet, Kai asked, clearly annoyed. Well, I was going to remind you that I'm underage, so I can't go to the bar with you. Sol, how old are you? Sol shrugged. 21. Is that old enough? Yes, Kai replied. You and me, then. Con, remember that earpiece? Wear that when Sol and I go tonight. I'd rather you hear the conversation than have to spit it back out to you. Sounds like a plan. I don't know if he'd be friendly toward me anyways. He didn't seem too keen on talking to me when I dream matched him in the past. Everything will be fine, Sol smirked. Kai stifled a laugh. Later that night, Con found himself sitting on the couch in front of the TV, leaving it off as he waited for Kai to turn on his mic upon entering the bar. When he hears Kai's voice in his ear, he texts him to let him know it worked, and he could hear Sol just fine as well. Con listens as Kai enters the bar with Sol and searches for Kiawe. Kai glanced around at the drunken faces at the bar, trying to remember the description that Con gave to him. Burly rabbit, brown fur, a lop rabbit, based on him saying long, rounded ears. Sol nudged Kai's shoulder, smiling at him as he motions toward the back corner. Confused, Kai followed Sol to where he pointed. What's wrong? Why are we lurking near the bathroom? Kai asked irritably. I saw him go in. Let's stick nearby and catch him when he gets out, okay? Kai sighs and sits at a table to avoid looking suspicious. Sol, on the other hand, he isn't the brightest, is he? Kai stares at Sol nervously as Sol lingers near the bathroom with a look of confusion on his face. Kai glanced around at the bar, trying to check and see if anyone was staring them down. The mark is so noticeable. If a BMO member happens to be here, their mark is a dead giveaway. Kai pulls up their phone camera and adjusts the plate that covers their missing eye. Kai quickly pushes out the empty glass eye, ducking down to tuck it into their eye socket before repositioning the metal plate over their marked eye. Not too bad. A lot less noticeable, at least. They never wear the glass eye for real, though, so that would need some time to adjust to. Kai looks up as Sol sits across from them, followed by a man that perfectly matches Con's description. The man didn't look confused or awkward at seeing Kai, even with their messed up face and mechanical arm. Kai smiled awkwardly at the man, examining his expressionless face. Ah, never expected to encounter you here. Oh, you know of me then? Kai Lynn McGannon. Nice to meet you. Kiawe, right? Said Raidley. McGannon. The name means nothing to me. Kiawe digs in his pocket, pulling out a worn wallet with a photo in it. He slips the photo out of its sleeve, handing it to Kai expectantly. To his shock, Con was right. Is this me? Is it? The person you are looking for. Am I your twin, then? The McGannon family adopted me, which I've always known, but, gods, I thought Con was crazy for saying you might be a sibling of mine. So, it's hard to explain. This is not the place to talk about this, though. I'm afraid we're being watched, Kaiwa starts blankly. He has such a deep, somewhat menacing voice, though Kai knows he doesn't mean to be so gruff or intimidating. From the way he looks, it was a natural look for him. Kai would be shocked to see him smile, and somehow they weren't surprised to see his expression unchanged after seeing his long-lost sibling. Kai glanced behind him to where Kai was looking. They couldn't pinpoint any facial features, but they saw a hooded figure in the corner, who may be looking in their direction. Due to the dim lighting, it was impossible to tell. Kai stood from their chair, still watching the corner of the room as he followed Kiawe and Sol out of the bar. Are you good with me getting Con to join us? Sol asked, tapping Kiawe's arm. The mouse? Sure, that's fine. Sol darted for the house, knowing he'd likely meet Con halfway. Kai was left standing awkwardly next to Kiawe, not wanting to stare at him for more than a few seconds. Kiawe also avoided his gaze, avoiding eye contact with Kai. I'd rather not tell them the details, but the reason we got separated was because you got hurt, and our mother was able to take you away from our imprisonment to get you treated. When did we get separated? Kai asked, studying Kiawe's face. Our mother's name is Iridel Seymour. If you look up her name, you'll understand. Kai pulled out their phone, typing in her name to check whatever comes up. The first result of the search was a missing persons article. Kai skimmed the article before turning to look at Kiawe. So, nobody knew we were her kids? Or did they fail to mention it? As far as the public knew, we never existed. She was held hostage by the man who is, regretfully, our father. We were very young, maybe 5 years old, when we got separated. You fell and got hurt, so she took you to get medical attention and fled. I think she wanted to give you a better life. Still, I've seen no articles indicating that her body has ever been found, while I assume she's gone. She might not be. But you searched for me instead? Yes, it seemed the more logical conclusion. Call it intuition. But I just knew you were out there. I needed to at least make sure you were okay. But I also didn't want to interfere with your life. Are you happy? Debatable. I've always been out of place. Even now, I'm a walking freakazoid. Glass eye, or just missing, doesn't matter. Everyone thinks it's scary to look at either way. And the arm, lots of jokes about that too. I just sort of shut myself out from everyone else. Now, things have been a bit better lately. I won't force myself into your life, Kaylin, but whatever you came to find me for, I'll do what I can to help. Kai couldn't help but smile. Sol was right. He's just a weird guy, not a mean one. We can't talk about it here, so why don't we just meet Sol and Con up at my place? You can stick around as long as you need. The place is like 8 guest bedrooms. Though it wasn't quite a smile, Kiawa's expression softened as he nodded to Kai and began to walk to the manor with them. It would be awkward between them, and Kai didn't think it was a good idea to talk to Melodia about the news just yet. But Kai felt much more confident about gathering everyone together now that the supposed difficult recruit had accepted so easily. Still, Kai found himself worrying about going to the Wildlands to find who they needed there. So that's... yeah. Kiawe with the heart. Okay, I'll read the journal entry and then stop. Right. Was it? Oh, that's Kiawe. With the holding the photo of... That's the photo of Kaylin. That's, Sirius, I assume. Oh, there's Sol and Carbon talking. That's cute. That's Kaylin with the diamond, the eye patch, and the mechanical arm. Journal entry number 5. Carbon called me today. She'll be meeting us in a town in the southern woodland district called Auburn. Sid is meeting us there too. As expected, we haven't heard from Claristel, and I haven't had any dream matches with the others. Still, we haven't figured out who the last one is. Coffee. Claristel's target. If Claristel and Sheik can make it to Coda, maybe they can locate Coffee and meet up with us together. Otherwise, I don't have particularly high hopes in randomly coming across the sky. Kiza. We haven't seen Felix since before we met Sol, but I'm hoping he managed to get Kiza in a safe place. I think Kiza is our next target, depending on what we learn when we manage to cross the river. When we explained everything to Kiawe, he was extremely understanding. He seems to be a pretty quiet guy, and he's apologized for weirding me out in the dreamscape. He's still a bit weird and not super comfortable around him, but we've learned that he's extremely adept at using dual swords. He plans to act as something like a bodyguard for me and Kai, since we are, as Kai says, squishy compared to Sol, Carbon, and Sid. The three-eyed wolf. Kai still deep dives for information about this guy, but he's pretty hard to trace. Nothing new is reported about him at all. I still have some concerns about him being unwilling to join us, though. Moon. Now Claristol. After our last contact, I haven't had a dream match with Claristol, so I don't know her progress. I can only hope she's safe out there with Sheik protecting her, as well as whoever the other two guys are. Carbon Rutledge Farkin. In my contacts with Carbon, I've learned that not only is she extremely versatile with her shapeshifting abilities, but she also has ice abilities that she uses to create a giant ice wrecking ball. Crazy. I can't wait to see her again. She's so friendly. King Lucius Everest II. Kai managed to hack into a data network for the Wildlands to access the hidden info, but we still can't find any information about the king, so we can only assume he's still hiding away in the castle. Still, that's a bit odd. He hasn't said a word in the war. So who is steering the war on the Wildlands side if it isn't him? Mono Chambers. I still haven't heard from Mono, but I'm thinking he might be in cahoots with the WMO. If that's the case, then I bet he's still doing his best to help us out, or is at least working to figure out what we need to do when we're all together. Pikuda Winfrey. Kai and I have decided we'd better wait before we approach the jungle. According to Sid, the fighting has extended pretty far south along the river, so staying south to go around the lake connecting to the river just isn't a viable option right now. Kylan McGannon. Kai is still going to utilize Roban, albeit less frequently. I handed over the wristband that controls Roban, so they can use it whenever they choose. I didn't realize the gadget could attach directly to his prosthetic. Smart. As for the thing he's been working on in the lab, it's some sort of teleporting device that can take us directly to his house. Our base, as he calls it. Melodia still isn't aware of all this, but that's okay. Cedric Pines. Now that Sid is done with finals, he's planning to make his way to meet us in the woodlands. He told Merrick and Gaz, and as expected, they told him to be extremely careful and to stay safe. I can't wait to see his face again. Sol Reyes. Sol is still coming to terms with this whole spirit-seeing magic thing, but he's gotten comfortable with everyone surprisingly fast. Pretty laid back, but also really good at using wind magic, which surprised me. He'll be just fine, I think. We still haven't figured out who this last person is. No dream matching, no information. Without knowing which mark is missing, it'll be difficult to figure out which one the last person has. I forgot to ask Claristol what her mark is, and it wasn't visible in the dreamscape. But we have Flower, Teardrop, Star, Heart, Diamond, and Leaf recruited so far. We know Coffee is the skull mark, and Felix said Kiza is the feather. Assuming the king is the crown mark, that leaves Infinity, Fire, Lightning, Spiral, and Moon. I wish I knew what Munu, Bikuda, and Claristol's marks are. Would make this so much easier. Is that Claristol? Yeah. Okay, let's head over to art. It's the... I think it might be the fourth stream. I don't think I've rated them yet. No. Let's go. Thanks everyone who came in and listened along, and hope you can yep, if you're interested in the story, check out Saku's book in the pinned link, or come along to his streams. I really enjoy the streams, and yeah, I'm excited to help out with recording the book.